What if I told you the biggest thing standing between you and your dream life is waiting? Yes, waiting. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right skills. Waiting for everything to fall perfectly into place. But here's the truth. That perfect moment you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to share something simple, but powerful. 9 practical rules to win in life. No complicated theories. No magical formulas for overnight success. Just real, proven principles that can change everything if you're willing to take action. Too many people waste their lives in limbo. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel more confident. I'll begin when I have more time. I'll take the leap when I'm fully ready. But guess what? That someday never arrives. Because life keeps moving, whether you act or not. While you're waiting, others are building. Others are growing. Others are succeeding. Not because they had ideal circumstances, but because they started despite the imperfections. The most successful people in the world didn't begin their journey with certainty. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't wait until they were experts. They simply started, even when it felt uncomfortable, even when they doubted themselves. So let me ask you, how many times have you told yourself tomorrow? And how many of those tomorrows have actually come? The harsh truth is this: readiness is a myth. No one is ever 100% ready for something new. The only way to become ready is to begin. Every great accomplishment you admire started with a small, shaky, imperfect step. That first step might be awkward. It might be messy. It might even be scary. But it's the step that separates the dreamers from the doers. If you keep waiting, all you're doing is delaying your own progress, your own success, your own transformation. The difference between those who win and those who stay stuck isn't intelligence, money, or even talent. It's action. Winners take initiative. They take risks. They step into the unknown. They act even when the timing isn't perfect, even when they're not 100% sure how things will unfold. And eventually, that momentum leads to greatness. So, stop wasting time overthinking, over-planning, and over-worrying. If you have an idea, start working on it. If you have a dream, take one small step today. If you want to grow, begin now. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for guarantees. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Start now and figure it out along the way. And as you begin, be ready to meet one of life's most misunderstood teachers: failure. Most people run from failure. They fear it, avoid it, let it define them. But the truth is, failure isn't your enemy. It's part of the process. It's the price of progress. Every person who's done something remarkable has failed, not once, but many times. The difference isn't whether they failed, it's how they responded to it. Most people see failure as the end of the road, but successful people, they see it as a stepping stone. Every rejection, every mistake, every setback carries a lesson. And those lessons are more valuable than any textbook or seminar. The real growth happens not when everything goes right, but when things fall apart and you choose to rise again. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall again and again and again, but they don't quit. They don't say, maybe walking just isn't for me. They get up, try again, and one day they walk. That's how life works. But here's the twist. As we grow older, society teaches us to fear failure, to hide it, to be ashamed of it. We stop experimenting. We stop taking risks. And we stop growing. But failure, when embraced, becomes your most honest teacher. It shows you what doesn't work, so you can discover what does. It gives you wisdom that can't be taught, only earned. Every great entrepreneur, every elite athlete, every inspiring leader, they've all failed. They've been laughed at, rejected, criticized, but they didn't stop. They didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. If you fear failure, you'll avoid risk. And if you avoid risk, you'll avoid growth. So flip the script. See failure not as a curse, but as a clue. A map pointing you toward improvement. Analyze what went wrong. Learn from it. Adapt. And move forward, stronger and smarter. Remember, failing doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're in motion. It means you're trying. It means you're pushing beyond comfort. And that's where transformation begins. So don't hide from failure. Face it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Now let's talk about the one thing that turns effort into results. Hard work. It doesn't matter how gifted or intelligent you are. Without effort, your potential is wasted. The world is full of smart people with great ideas who never executed. But history celebrates the ones who put in the work, consistently, relentlessly. Hard work is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. But here's the key. Hard work alone isn't enough. Because if you're swinging an axe for hours, but the blade is dull, you're just exhausting yourself. Success requires more than sweat. It requires strategy. Working smart means identifying what truly matters. It means knowing where to direct your time, energy, and attention. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what actually moves the needle. It means sharpening your skills before swinging wildly. It means planning your path before running forward blindly. It means learning from others, leveraging tools, eliminating what's unnecessary, and staying focused on what brings real results. So yes, work hard, but also work smart. Because the people who thrive are not the ones who burn out. They're the ones who balance effort with clarity, intensity with intention. We ended the last section by understanding that hard work must be paired with smart choices. But here's another crucial truth. Even if you work smarter and harder, if you ignore your energy, you'll burn out before you ever break through. Think about it. How sharp is your decision-making when you're exhausted? How productive are you when you're mentally drained? The truth is, a tired mind makes poor choices. That's why rest and recovery aren't luxuries, they're strategies. Rest is not a reward for working hard. Rest is part of the work. Smart performers in sports, business, and life know this. They schedule breaks. They fuel their bodies. They guard their sleep. Because they understand, you can't pour from an empty cup. So don't just work hard blindly. Don't fall into the trap of doing more just for the sake of doing more. Work like crazy, yes, but make sure that energy is pointed in the right direction. Be intentional. Be strategic. Ask yourself, is this task getting me closer to my real goals? Or is it just noise disguised as productivity? Learn to make your work more efficient. Cut distractions. Focus only on what truly moves the high needle. And most importantly, never stop improving. Because true success doesn't come from working endlessly. It comes from working effectively. And here's another piece of the puzzle. The people you surround yourself with, they matter more than you think. Whether you realize it or not, your circle influences your mindset, your behavior, your momentum, even your ambition. If you're constantly surrounded by people who are lazy, negative, or complacent, their energy will start rubbing off on you. But when you surround yourself with driven, optimistic, and growth-minded individuals, you start leveling up. In a single day. Let's put it this way. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who's in your top 5? Think of a seed. Even if it has the potential to become a strong, towering tree, if it's planted in dry, toxic soil, it will struggle to survive. But the same seed, when placed in rich, fertile ground, will flourish. You are that seed, and your environment is the soil. That's why successful people are intentional with their surroundings. They actively seek mentors, teammates, and friends who challenge them, push them, and inspire them to grow. They understand the right environment is often the difference between winning and quitting. Spend time with people who are constantly learning, setting goals, and thinking big. And guess what? You'll start to mirror those habits. But negative people, they drain your energy. They complain about everything. They blame others. They mock ambition. And they plant seeds of doubt in your mind. If you stick around them long enough, you'll find yourself shrinking your dreams to fit their limited beliefs. That's why you must protect your mindset by protecting your circle. Now, that doesn't mean you should only chase people who are rich or successful. It means choosing to be around those with the right attitude. People who are honest, supportive, and committed to growth in their own lives and in yours. Surround yourself with those who lift you up, celebrate your wins, and push you to do better, not the ones who compete with you, question your ambition, or secretly hope you fail. And sometimes, to build that circle, you'll have to let go of certain relationships. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. Clear about your energy, your values, and your future. If someone constantly brings drama, discouragement, or negativity into your life, it may be time to create distance. Not to punish them, but to protect your path. At the same time, don't just focus on finding the right people. Be the right person. Be the kind of friend, mentor, or teammate others are proud to grow with. Support, uplift, and invest in those around you. Because success isn't a solo journey. Your network is your net worth, not just in terms of money, but in wisdom, perspective, and personal development. Choose your circle wisely. Because over time, the people closest to you will either propel you toward your dreams or pull you away from them. And here's something even deeper. The moment you think you know it all, that's the moment you stop growing. The world is changing faster than ever. Industries evolve, technologies emerge, new ideas rise every day. The people who thrive in the long run aren't the ones who are always the smartest. They're the ones who never stopped learning. Staying hungry means you keep chasing growth, even after you've achieved success. Staying foolish means you're not afraid to look silly, ask questions, and step into the unknown. Too many people get to a comfortable point and then hit pause. They think, I've made it. I've figured it out. But that mindset, it's the beginning of decline. The world won't wait for you to catch up. That's why the most successful people are lifelong students. Always reading, always listening, always experimenting. Think about the greatest innovators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries of our time. They weren't satisfied doing what everyone else was doing. They questioned everything. They chased crazy ideas. They took risks when others played it safe. Why? Because they understood that every major breakthrough starts with something that first sounds impossible. So don't let the fear of looking foolish hold you back. Dare to stay curious. Dare to keep learning. Because the moment you stop growing, you start fading. And that brings us to one last truth. Real success doesn't start with chasing money. It starts with service. So once you understand that true success begins with service, not just money, there's another lesson that must follow. When you genuinely serve, something powerful happens. People trust you. They support you. And they talk about you in rooms you're not even in. In fact, word of mouth and strong relationships are more powerful than any ad campaign or viral post. When you consistently deliver value, whether in your work, your brand, or your presence, people naturally want to collaborate with you, buy from you, and help you grow. That's the kind of loyalty you can't fake, and you can't buy. But the moment you start chasing a dream, the moment you dare to do something different, you'll notice something else. Criticism will come. It always does. Some people will question your ideas. Others will mock your ambition. A few might even try to convince you that you're wasting your time. But here's the truth. No one doing better than you will ever try to tear you down. The loudest critics are rarely the boldest risk takers. They're often stuck, afraid to step out of their comfort zone, and your progress reminds them of their stagnation. Haters exist in every field. Whether you're launching a business, chasing a creative passion, or simply trying to become a better version of yourself, negativity will find you. Sometimes it comes from strangers, sometimes from friends, even family. Some do it out of jealousy. Others may genuinely believe they're protecting you from failure. But either way, their doubts do not define your destiny. If you listen to them, you begin to doubt yourself. And self-doubt is the silent killer of dreams. Now think about the most successful people in the world. Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, innovators. Every single one of them had critics. They were told no. They were laughed at, rejected, misunderstood. But they didn't stop. They used criticism as fuel. They improved, and eventually they let their results speak for them. That's the key. Don't argue, don't defend. Prove it through action. The best response to negativity is success. Let your progress do the talking. Let your results silence the noise. Understand, the more you achieve, the more criticism you'll attract. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're making waves. But the moment you start reacting to every insult, every negative comment, you give your power away. Haters thrive on attention. Don't feed them. Stay focused. Keep building. Move forward. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not magic. It's a journey, paved with patience, persistence, and resilience. Unfortunately, most people quit too soon. They expect instant wins, and when they don't see results right away, they get discouraged, start doubting themselves, and eventually give up. But here's a truth that winners understand. Anything meaningful takes time. Whether you're building a business, mastering a skill, or growing as a person, progress isn't always visible at first. Think of a tree. You plant a seed. You water it. For weeks, nothing happens. No sign of growth. But under the surface, the roots are forming. The foundation is being built. Then one day, a small sprout appears. And over time, that seed becomes a towering tree. That's how success works. The effort you put in today may not show up tomorrow, but it's never wasted. It's laying the groundwork for your future. So yes, be patient. But don't confuse patience with passivity. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. Patience is about trusting the process while still showing up every day. Too many people either give up too fast or they wait forever, never taking the first step. They keep saying, "I'll start," when the timing is perfect. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. The best time to start? Now. Even if you're not fully ready. Even if it feels uncomfortable. Start anyway. Learn as you go. Adjust when needed. But never stop moving forward. Because patience gives you perspective. But persistence brings results. The most successful people master both. They don't rush blindly. But they don't stand still either. They take action consistently, intentionally, and they trust that the results will follow. And here's the beautiful part. Behind every breakthrough, every invention, every inspiring leader, there was once a dream. Just a thought. A vision of something better. Big dreams move the world forward. They ignite innovation. They challenge limits. They make the impossible feel possible. But dreaming alone isn't enough. Many people have big dreams, but they never act. They get overwhelmed. They wait for the perfect moment, the right tools, or more resources. And in waiting, they stall. That's why the second half of the equation is just as important. Start small. Every giant company, every global icon, every extraordinary success started somewhere simple, not with millions of dollars, not with the perfect strategy, but with what they had. They took one small step, and then another, and another. Think of a massive tree again. It all began as a tiny, fragile seed. You don't look at a seed and see a forest, but if you nurture it, protect it, and stay consistent, it grows. Slowly, steadily, strongly. That's how your dream works too. Starting small doesn't mean thinking small. It means breaking your dream into pieces you can act on now. Want to build a business? Start by learning the basics. Test small ideas. Build gradually. Want to become an expert? Don't wait. Read one page. Practice one skill. Improve 1% every day. because small progress is still progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make is underestimating the power of small beginnings. They think, if I can't make a huge impact now, what's the point? But they forget, greatness is built in layers. It's the small things you do daily, consistently, that compound over time into something life-changing. So yes, dream big. Imagine the future you want. Envision the impact you wish to create. But be wise enough to start small. Take the first step today, no matter how small it feels. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that those little steps became the foundation for something extraordinary. Winning in life is not about luck. It's about showing up. It's about taking action. It's about staying resilient and always moving forward. So now, don't just listen to these rules. Live them. Your time starts now. Thank you.